8:30, so we'll call the work session of the mayor and council for the city of Snellville, Georgia, Monday, October 11th, 2021 to order. We'll go through the regular business meeting first. I don't think we have anybody for the invocation, do we?
I don't.
Okay, it's your chance for the invitation.
No one ever.
I left it home. I would have been ready today. It would be short.
Does anyone want to offer an invitation?
How about Matt? Let's see.
Matt'll do it?
He said,
All right, Matt.
Matt,
Agreeable guy.
one caveat, Matt?
a few minutes, more than 2 minutes.
Don't listen to Dave. Anyone want to do the pledge? How about Kathy Emanuel?
Okay,
Kathy?
I know the pledge.
Okay.
You only have to start with I. Everybody picks it from
As
there.
long as you know the first word, you're okay.
Kathy, I had a council member in Dalton who got up and said, "God bless America." And then I smelled alcohol on his breath.
Uh-oh.
You weren't supposed to bring that up.
I like the one, I, your name, your name.
On the minutes, the agenda specifies August 23rd, and it should be September 27th. The right minutes were in the agenda package, so we're okay to do that. So whoever's gonna make the motion, just make sure you make it for the right week. And then we have, items on the public hearing that are just first reads. So we have, the first one is annexation and the LUP and rezoning for the Mulder Trust property. Ronnie DeThomas's. Anything anybody wants to go over here in the work session? Okay. And then that'll go on the October 25th agenda. Then we have the first reading on the UDO text amendments. Anybody have questions? Have y'all looked at that yet? So if anybody's got any questions or issues on that, just probably talk to Jason first and then shoot out an email.
Jason may not be back till
Oh,
next
that's right.
week.
He actually will be in tomorrow.
Yeah, I heard you.
What?
He's
Yep,
doing
he's doing
really,
good.
really well.
Wow.
The surgery went, that a very specialized surgeon on the pituitary and did a great job.
Well, that's the same surgery that took Tom's wife, so.
In-
No.
In
No.
Chapel Hill?
No.
He moved from Emory to Chapel Hill.
No, the surgery, not the surgeon.
Oh, okay.
So
It was the same kind of brain tumor that Carol had?
pituitary.
Carol had some kind of,
Okay,
Which time?
I
Okay.
talked to Tom on Sunday, so.
okay,
Well, I'm glad he's doing well.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a good exchange on text today. He has humor about him and everything.
Yes, the
So,
smack talk has not stopped.
yeah. Yeah.
Great
Worse than before,
prognosis.
right?
Good. Then we have new business. We're awarding the contract for the stormwater drainage systems. I shouldn't say it so like that. Should it be approved, we will award. Anybody have any questions on that?
And it's Dickerson again. They're the contractor doing the sanitary sewer project over there. I guess they've done our stormwater for how many years in a row now? I mean, they have, like I explained to everybody earlier today, they've just built a better mousetrap. They really have learned how to streamline their work and their bid, and and they do a great job. So,
What is our stormwater budget for 21-22?
I think we're about, we're a little under.
Yeah, because I thought we had like,
This, because we're like,
doing another bid
Yeah.
a little bit later on.
Yeah.
We're close to 2 million almost, so this is
Way
way,
under.
yes. the other ones, we've got a couple of.
But as far as capital projects, I think it's about 850.
Yeah, we had about 800
Yeah.
something.
So it's well under.
So will we be able to come back a little later, you think, and do some more,
Yeah,
another
not a lot
project or
later,
two?
but, yeah, we just.
We're already working on
The next
Not a
ones.
lot later.
We do have two ponds, one in fact in, off of Bradbury, that pond, the dam that's failing, so we've already got some preliminary work on it, so we thought we would take a look at that detention pond, which is a city maintained pond, as well as we have a couple of projects left on there that we can put on.
I tell you what, when we do come back with the next list, maybe it'd be a good time for an overall update again. We do that about once a year
Yeah,
because I was talking to Todd this morning, and the city just started behind initially. It took years to get the program going.
you think?
And we haven't caught up. And Gay always has that, and Craig does too now, that that feeling in the pit of their stomach that we've got 20 minutes worth of questions and only 5 minutes left before they close it down. So we need to give you a good update.
Yeah, just kind of let everybody see what we've done and what we still have to do. Yeah. So whoever makes the motion there is the Dickerson Group, and make sure you have the amount.
Should I go into the other Dickerson issue?
Yeah, if you
Now,
want to.
I'm going to hand out a little information here that we've just received from Dickerson. I mentioned earlier, pass those down, Dave. I mentioned earlier that Dickerson was doing the sanitary sewer project for the county on Eastwood connecting to Old Hickory. The last portion that we're responsible for, we have to go from the last manhole on the county project and we have to run on the east side of our detention pond under the trail and put a manhole in at the corner of the phase 2 property that we're selling to give them sewer access. And our engineer, Precision Planning, same engineer on the big sanitary sewer project, did the plans on this one, came up with an $85,000 estimate. It's under $100,000, so it didn't have to be formally bid. We got a price from Dickerson of $81,000. $4,000 under the quote. Everybody else we talked to said, well, we aren't even gonna bid. We know Dickerson's probably gonna get it. And I wanted to ask tonight if we could amend the agenda to approve this $81,000 connection to complete all of the stormwater and sanitary sewer commitments that we've made on the town center.
Is there anything that is so pressing that it can't go on the next agenda 2 weeks from now?
It's October. If we need to put it on the next one, we can. I just need to get them a go-ahead as soon as possible. They will not finish their work. Matt, the last meeting we had, they're still talking about, December, January. And January is gonna be cleanup and everything.
Right.
So I just need to keep them working. So if we need to wait a couple of weeks, I think that'd be okay. Nothing's going to change here, but it's, I was very pleased to see that number, that it was under the engineer's estimate. And, so we just need to keep them working for sure. The only thing that I think that would bother, there's a manhole involved, there's,
Ordering.
their supply line,
Yeah.
is getting that.
That's an issue.
That's the only issue there, so.
Well,
What's everybody's preference?
I will leave it up to mine. It doesn't, it doesn't create any serious issues other than,
It just wasn't
yeah, I wouldn't
advertised.
advertise, but, so I don't have great grief about it. If y'all wanna amend it, I'm not gonna.
I'm
straighten it.
okay.
I can understand
good.
needing
Yeah.
to order the materials.
Okay,
And it could be explained that we need to go ahead and order the materials and
So
with
Yeah.
supply
if you would,
issues,
if you would do that.
Okay,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Could you phrase that again?
What's that?
How it needs to
phrase
be
it on
introduced?
how it would need to be
Yes.
put on the agenda.
Award the contract to Dickerson.
To Dickerson for sanitary sewer extension to the Phase 2 Town Center property in the amount of, I think I gave away my last copy,
81.
not to exceed $81,000.
Dickerson for sanitary sewer.
$30.
extension To complete the town
Yeah.
center.
Award Snellville Town Center sewer extension contract to Dickerson.
The Dickerson Group, yeah. And I'll be
So
glad to give all the specifics.
in amending the agenda, when we get to the approval of the agenda, we'll be adding new business
New
item
business item
C. And just need to say award Snellville Town Center sewer extension contract.
Sanitary sewer extension contract.
Yeah. And then when we get to the new item C, then the motion would be to award it to Dickerson Group for $81,030.
Awesome.
All right, then we have a first reading on the noise control ordinance. Any discussion there? And that's it for the regular meeting, so we'll go into any correspondence?
Not at all.
The library is doing a gala.
Oh, I saw that.
Have y'all gotten emails on that?
I've seen either an invitation or forwarded something. Yeah. We went to that a few years ago.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Putting on the lids
We
or
put on
something
the
like
lids,
that,
We
yeah.
did, yeah.
With the dueling pianos. Yes.
Yeah, they're,
Sounds like
Vince
Dave's
Dooley's
done.
gonna be the speaker.
Vince.
Vince Dooley.
Coach Dooley.
Yeah, I did see that. I've seen it somewhere.
Yeah, I saw something, I remember that.
It's
But I
quite
don't, it wasn't
pricey,
an
though.
invitation, it was something.
Yeah,
Probably one of those things.
as
that
I
we-
remember.
Sorry.
It was
I'm having
really
trouble with my
nice.
email tonight.
And they had the
I didn't
silent
get
auction
anything.
stuff there. It's all fundraiser. for the library.
Yeah, it's a fundraiser for the library, but, if I can find the last invite here. They, it's Saturday on October 23rd from 7 to 11 at the Infinite Energy Center. I'm sorry, the Gas South District. I don't know how much the tickets are. I guess if, I mean, it wouldn't be bad for us to show up. I guess just let Butch know if you're, an individual ticket's $250.
Yeah, I remember being quite pricey. So,
For a couple?
It's a lot of money for that
Or
gala.
just one?
That's an individual ticket. Couples tickets are $500.
What a deal.
$525.
I'll give you 50 cents or two for $1.
I have some overdue books, but I'm not,
Maybe we should just get a table, it'd be cheaper.
Well,
A table.
I think we had a table
We did do a table.
last time.
How much are the tables?
But I don't
Does
know
it
if
say?
that was any.
And how many?
Table
No, 'cause it's
is-
just
A
however many
table
it is times.
sponsor is $2,000.
But when we went, the last time, that was before we broke ground on everything.
One,
Yeah,
Probably.
yeah, we still
hopeful.
needed to kind of
Yeah,
kiss up a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah.
And 8 drink
And-
tickets.
now that we're in
Yeah,
a different situation, I don't know that that would be a great use of our
they're on
money.
the hook.
Yeah.
I agree, it's a
That's
lot,
a lot of
it's a
money.
lot of money to spend.
I would say that the
many
mayor and her husband or the city manager, it would be appropriate to send somebody there, but I don't,
I don't think we all
Yeah,
need
the
to
mayor.
go.
so, or send a representative from the city and their date.
Dave.
I'll pass.
I'll be out of town.
Well, I mean, the city pick up the cost, it's just.
I'll still be out of town.
Yeah,
Well, you like football. Take that.
Listen,
Football.
I ran the stadium steps for Coach Dooley for 2 weeks and then got my knee banged up first practice in pads, so the end of it.
Well, I happen to be free, if anyone, on a Saturday night, that's
Barbara.
what I would be doing.
Barbara and Christy can go.
We
But,
could go.
You know, if you wanna take the first gentleman, I certainly understand.
He would probably rather not.
You think?
Oh, he had a good time last time, I think.
Yeah, I think he probably did okay.
He cleans up nicely.
Oh, he does. He does. It's getting him there.
Yeah.
You know, it's just all the whining before we get there.
Well, see, that's why I deferred, so y'all don't have to put up with that from me.
It's the fact that he's got to come in from whatever he was doing and, you know, and then I have to hear it. What is this thing? What are we doing? Where are we going? You're
It's
kidding.
7
We're going
p.m.
over
to
there.
11 p.m.
Yeah, well, remember, it's like prom for adults.
Yes.
So they have the little photo
Yeah.
booth and the red carpet when you walked in.
It was nice.
It
Well,
was
that's
very
different
nice.
than the
Yeah.
Gwinnett County prom.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it is, it's a little bit more upscale,
Well, I mean,
as you can tell from the price.
whatever we went to the first year.
Yeah.
The wine was very,
I
Yeah,
agree
because
with-
wasn't it at the place in Peachtree Corners?
yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was, that's right.
Yeah, right
that's
on
right.
yeah.
Peachtree
well,
Industrial.
that's fine.
Yeah, Katie's
Nice.
friend got married there.
Nice area.
An event facility.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
nice.
I can't remember
agree
the
with
name of it.
sending 2 people. I think that's fine.
Okay.
Got it.
Well, let me check with Greg, but maybe you and I will just.
I'll be your backup. That's often my role.
Okay, so we're gonna do that, and then, all right. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm so distracted here. Okay, so, city attorney's report.
Just a couple things. Greg and I had a Chief and I had a conversation this morning about, there'd been a question about trucks parking at the QT on 124. I think John Dennis had already done some research, but I followed up and came to the same conclusion. As long as they are parking on the non-street side or the interior side, which is where I believe all their parking is. I mean, you know, unless they were trespassing and QT didn't want them there, if QT's not got a problem with them there, I don't think they're not just leaving their trucks and storing them there. They're resting there during their rest period and presumably are customers at the QT, at least to some degree. So there's really not any ordinance violation that I can see that's going on. Now, you know, at some point there may become a noise violation, I guess, but at least at this point, under our current noise ordinance, there's not. And I don't see anything else under the non-residential district parking that precludes it. That's what John had come up with too, is that right? Okay. So, also, I didn't bring this up to the mayor earlier, but if you all have been to Mellow Mushroom lately, if you've looked up, you shouldn't see anything.
Yes,
Oh.
yes, I
Oh,
saw
gone, huh?
it.
Billboard's gone. So the first of the billboards is gone. So now they construct
Yeah.
their billboard. Then when they decide the next one, they have to take the billboard on 124 down before they can start on the other one. So, but so far they're holding up their ends. So they did it very quickly and quietly. I didn't, I just drove by and it was gone.
Yeah, I remember I was going out somewhere and saw the truck there, and I was like, oh, they must be doing that. And then I haven't paid attention since. Brian, maybe you could go and take a picture of the blue sky
Oh yes.
and say,
What's missing?
what's
Yeah, we
missing?
could have a contest.
Say, who
Or
can,
there's something, do something,
Yeah, yeah, that's progress.
Yeah.
because that's something that probably, it'll be interesting to see if anybody notices.
most everybody's gonna be happy about it.
I will make a note.
Also on abatements on 2468 Mountain View, that will be coming back up for court on next Thursday. We have quality of life court. We'll be addressing if they've gotten had any movement towards getting the foreclosure done. Now, interestingly enough, the owner of the property has legally abandoned it now. We received a copy from the probate court that they've granted it. So technically, it's been abandoned. Now the only people have, I don't even know that they have to go through a full foreclosure. So that'll be addressed on Thursday. Mr. Choate and I traded a bunch of emails yesterday. And so there's still a gutter that's down, a hole in the wall, and some ants that are a problem. But evidently, the ants may be coming from a refrigerator in the house, and evidently Fannie Mae has to give them permission to enter the premises again to deal with the refrigerators. The Grand Central, we got we did get the title search back. I'm going to need to get, I don't know if Jason, well, probably will be able to get, Jason's going to have to sign the complaint, and we have to do our little procedures with that. It was a good thing we did turn up a tax lien, a couple other things that we want to make sure we had everybody on. So had we not done that, we would have probably missed a couple people. So, but that will be filed shortly. So I think that gets us up to current.
Okay. Now we're city attorney's report. Oh, we just did that. Sorry.
I can do it again though.
I'm sorry.
Groundhog Day.
Somebody get that woman caffeine.
If I can bill again.
I have my last deadline on Friday. The individual income tax deadline is Friday. So y'all just forgive me here.
You got anything report?
All right, under discussion items, ongoing projects.
Everybody is getting the updates, right? From both winter, the nice pictures, and then the big update on the town center. Good,
All
good.
rain pictures.
Yeah. We've got a
You can almost look out your window and see it. We have not gotten a positive response from GDOT on the Wisteria 124 signal. It's gone a little further up the chain to the state transportation engineer, and she has turned us down. We haven't had a lot of luck. Usually your elected officials can get, department heads to get some type of a meeting, a call, but, Russell McMurray just seems to be cloistered up there. So, Todd, I think you were gonna call Rebecca and check with her. We're gonna talk to Melvin to see if there's a possibility of getting the governor's attention on this. Chuck has given us another option also with a well-connected lobbyist and or well-connected political cohort of the governor. And so we haven't given up yet. We'll just keep working on that. The bid on the roadway improvements, I think Larry has finalized those, and the roundabout has been approved by all parties. I think we sent out north side, well, I shouldn't say that, our potential partner on phase 2, I think we sent that development proposal out to everybody to look at. And we have to, we are going to, part of the roadway improvements will include those entrance ways and then some on-street parking. So,
That was the original stuff that came out.
okay.
I thought maybe there was something else.
Human resource issues, Jason Thompson had just an excellent experience in Chapel Hill. He had to go to the University of North Carolina to have it done. The surgeon moved from Emory there. One of the few people who can do this, and he's done several hundred, if not thousands. He has an excellent prognosis, and he actually is going to try to come to work tomorrow. We aren't going to let him stay very long, but so he's doing very well.
You have experience with that, don't you?
And Matt continues to work with department heads, and I've got to provide some input also on the personnel policy and procedures. Annexation, I have not had a chance to talk to Roy today. He's putting all the numbers in place. We've had good conversations with the county trying to nail down what we're competing against, not with the tax commissioner, but with the tax assessor. And the tax assessor's office has always been great. Sidewalk improvements. There was a very good meeting this morning at the county with Edgardo Aponte, who is in charge of pre-construction for them, and Louis Cooksey, the director. And basically, we took the map, and they've had a chance to review it now for several weeks. And we found out that they actually have a program, some set-aside money, where they can work with cities. If cities can do some basic engineering and bring the information back to them, they set us, and we can do we would have to commit to doing the drainage work that is going to be a part of just about every sidewalk improvement. And they come back and do the concrete for the sidewalk and the curb and gutter. I think that was very, very positive. Lewis said, they if you remember, several years ago, they did some work on Skyland. They have a partial extension down to, I guess, about El Dorado. There, we showed them the red on the map, which was a priority. And we talked about getting down to Rockdale and around Rockdale. And they have kind of an interesting scale for rating the need of projects. They look for walking paths. Where people are beating the grass down to the dirt, and they rate those a little higher. And so they said that they would look at the rating for Skyland, and they also will go back and probably upgrade the rating for Pinehurst. We talked about, Todd obviously is a property owner down there where we could get some drainage down to the creek, and I think you believe we can do it on both sides. That there's potential for a property owner on the adjacent property, and so Edgardo is going to look at that and get Matt. I think he said he probably could get that rated much higher on their rating scale. So those were the main two that we concentrated on this morning, and they were very positive about. We did bring up some other things. I brought up ARPA funds, and they basically feel like transportation was left out of ARPA. But I pointed out that utilities are good. We have a stormwater utility. This work, and if they do the sidewalk and the curb and gutter, we'd be putting funds into stormwater work on that. And I think it would be, as Todd mentioned, everything is sheet flow on Pinehurst, and it creates a lot of problems. And if we can solve, it won't solve it all, but if we can pick up enough water to to at least, make the situation better for the property owners, I think it'd be a real positive thing. Plus, the sidewalk would be there. And I believe that people would walk from there to the town center. I mean, you're talking about, I talked about there's gonna be 250 homes in Saddlebrook and the development across the street. And I don't know, Todd, you live out there, but when I go home, I come in the morning, I mean, there are people walking out there at 6 o'clock in the morning. They walk to the end of the sidewalk, turn around and go back. And then they're walking late in the afternoon too. So, I just think that that's something that, it could be a real positive for the community. So we're going to get, CPL to do a little engineering work, and then we're gonna meet again. So, let's take a big contingency next time and really keep pushing this thing. But I got a very positive feel. Matt, I think when we left, I was glad that Lewis came in, spent the time with us. He's very interested in what's going on in Snellville. We're gonna get him here for a lunch and drive him around, and we'll talk about landscaping roundabouts. We'll talk about the potential for a roundabout. I brought it up at Ridgedale and Pinehurst. I think that's a perfect place for a roundabout. So,
Well, that's what, I brought it up to him too.
Yeah.
I mean, there's plenty of room. It's easy to get the right of way there right now.
yeah. And so, they were very positive, and, I think they like hearing from cities. And, so, anyway, we'll do a little more legwork and then go back and see them. But very positive. 78 and 124, I put another call into GDOT today. Hopefully we'll have something, later this week on that. Todd also mentioned that there had been some discussion about, the Waffle House. We're working on getting, that area cleaned up. UDO and the Alcoholic Beverage Code, I mean, that's just where it's been. It's wherever you guys wanna take that, next year. ARPA funds and uses, we're about to begin the FY '22 budget, and at the conference I attended last week, there was a big booth area sponsored by the United States Treasury Department, and it was unmanned. Nobody to answer
Boy, that's a
questions.
shock.
There were a few pens out there and some mints. So we could have done a little recon and just staked it out. If anybody came up to reload the mints, we could have accosted them. But and the county's lost too. I mean, the county, in talking to them today, it's so frustrating. It's very frustrating.
Are there any guidelines, or is
They're
so vague?
there are no final guidelines, and I've got to call into GMA. I think they're gonna have another. I think Becky Taylor is working on another update. I don't know if Becky gave the report in
She was there
in
at the
Savannah,
GMA,
but
yeah.
I think she probably moderated, and so we're we're hoping for the best, but we have a stormwater utility. It is a utility. It's a slight stretch, but I think it still stays in the gray. It doesn't cross that line, but we got to be careful because we sure don't want to have to pay the money back.
Right.
One bullet that we did dodge on group health, we had talked about the possibility of maybe having to do a self-insured program. Fortunately, we had a company step up to the plate, Kaiser Permanente, that we have had everybody's had issues with Kaiser before, but they've changed their plan. They offer a PPO plan now along with their HMO. So we've had 2 employee education meetings last week. Gabby said they were very well attended. I think lunch was full. I don't know if any of you guys went or not. And then there was a dinner meeting where I think Kaiser had a physician there, and they explained the plan a little bit better. I think people are going to be more comfortable with them this year. We maintain the HSA high deductible plan. where there's still a donation into everybody's HSA account. It's much better than it's ever been, and they were, they were 30% ahead of everybody. So we dodged the bullet of having to go self-insured, so I didn't have to come and ask for $1 billion of that ARPA money. It can stay in the pot. So that's kind of where we are there. Briscoe Park Master Plan update. We had a good public meeting. I think it went very well. I was disappointed in the attendance, but in talking to 2 other cities that GMC also held public meetings for that same week, Douglasville had 3 people.
Oh, gosh.
And Chamblee had 5. So, getting 20 citizens there in addition to staff and everybody else, we did pretty good. And Brian is working with GMC and Lisa in getting the survey online, maybe for another 10 days, no more than 2 weeks, giving people a chance to provide input that way. And if we just get that done, we have a meeting, we have a call tomorrow morning with GMC to hopefully line all that up. Let's see, tax billing, Melissa and her crew are doing a great job. We have 1 part-time employee working on collections and record keeping, but so far so good. You've had to address a lot of individual issues that were addressed very well. I don't know if y'all are hearing a lot of things. I hope nothing negative or not a lot of questions out there.
I haven't heard anything.
It is amazing. Any change will really impact people's thoughts. It's like, well, Melissa, didn't you say, some people are saying, well, I've only paid county taxes. I've never had to pay city taxes before. And here I'm getting a city tax bill.
They don't understand.
No, really, go back and look at last year's bill.
And we do that, we walk them through on the
Yeah.
phone, pulling
Yeah.
up their last year's county bill and then looking at their city bill.
I was here when one guy came in and gave Regina the whole, and the bottom line was, it was $3.24 in personal property.
Oh my gosh.
It's but I think it's going very well. We'll know better as we get further along as far as our collection percentage. But my hat's off to Melissa and her crew to make this work. It's
Good job.
I live in Grayson. I still don't have a Grayson tax bill. I don't know what's going to happen
You may
there.
not.
Well, who knows?
They're back in court.
They may just ask for donations.
QOL, we continue to follow up on it. You mentioned Grand Central, I think. Noise ordinance discussion, first reading tonight. A couple of other pieces of news. Late this afternoon, I got a really good email saying we got the CDBG grant for the wall repair at the lake at Briscoe, and our consultant Craig Goebel is really a key there. He ran that program for years, and he's helped us overcome the past animosity from me firing that company in Henry County. October 21st, we have a public meeting at Old Hickory.
Yes,
Did you send that out to everybody?
I did.
Everybody's invited, 6:30.
Do we need to advertise it though, if everybody's in?
Do we have to advertise that?
Well, we had Melissa and I had a very good discussion about this last week.
Well, this will be different though, since it's an HOA meeting. And they're all-
This is an HOA. This is an
It's
HOA
an HOA
meeting.
They would
meeting.
be discussing city
Yeah,
business.
yeah.
so.
If you are going to be talking about, I'm one of those guys that airs. They always say we can't have nice sayings because lawyers ruin it. But my goal is always to err on the side of caution. And if there was just any chance at all that the group as a quorum is going to be talking about city business, I just think it's better to do it. You just got to make sure you give Melissa enough notice.
So what do you do in that case when it's an HOA meeting and
so it doesn't matter what the content of it is if there's going to be an opportunity. So like my concern with when Commissioner Watkins was here was this scenario. There was, and it ended up there wasn't a quorum present, so it
Right.
wasn't an issue. There's a quorum present, and I didn't know, but maybe there's going to be a Q&A session. And they say, Commissioner Watkins, what does the county do about annexation? And he talks about this, and then it gets thrown back. Well, Councilman Warner, what does the city do? Now, it's kind of the back and forth, but then if another member chimes in, oh, well, I want to add in, or if they'd said Dave and you wanted to chime in, it becomes a gray area. So it's just a better thing. We just send a notice, say, hey, this is going to happen. There may be a quorum of the mayor and council present. And then you're fine. Because all it is just being out there to be noticed. This may be talked about. The fact that you're voting doesn't make a difference. It's whether or not you're discussing city business. So if there's going to be a quorum of you at that, I think you absolutely need to, because that's why you're going. That's exactly why you all are going.
Right, right.
So-
Answer questions and
So-
go over concerns, but I guess not so much from the government side, because I see that, but it's the HOA, and if the HOA doesn't want people from all over the city coming in and shanghaiing the meeting to talk about issues that's not concerning the HOA, what do you do with
The HOA
that?
has the ability to restrict who comes and goes in their facility, period.
But
Even
you
if we have it a
advertise it as
public meeting?
You can't forbid people from going.
Well,
If you all are hosting, if it's a public meeting and they're just hosting, if it's a public meeting that's being hosted by them,
No, it is
but this is, the
their
HOA is
meeting
inviting,
that have invited Butch and I and any other council members that want to come.
I,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Just wants it advertised.
I think.
Yeah, no,
yeah.
and I don't have a problem with it, it's just that it is an HOA meeting, and if they have HOA business
Right,
to
they
go
don't
over,
want
they,
people from the other side of town.
Well, I think at that point they could, then what they could do is they could have the session with you all, and then if they want to have their own
Close the
HO, then, they can close the meeting. They can do whatever they want to do. And they can just say the mayor and council portion is over. We're going to talk private business.
we can't even get people to show up to our meetings that are regularly held and advertised, so I don't think it'll be an issue.
well, I mean, I understand that, but it's the time you're not prepared for that you get one person that comes from somewhere else, and they come up and talk about an issue that has nothing to do with this HOA.
And then we make sure there's no longer a quorum in the,
So, okay.
It's and I've asked Chief to be there because their first two items are solicitors and police presence. And I think Greg did the research. We've only had one solicitation complaint in how many years?
No, it's one since January, so.
Okay,
In that
In that
neighborhood,
Correct.
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, no.
So,
Yeah, and I'm not quite sure that was actually correct. That might have been one that was the wrong address that was supposed to be on the other side of town. So they might have had zero.
no. No. But, and then we'll be ready for their other questions. Just wanted to put that on just get that out. Meeting list this week, the GMA call at 11 a.m., the COVID call. That's Tuesday, I think. Barbara, you sent that information out to everybody.
Yeah.
That
Did I?
Larry, I think so.
well, Larry, somebody sent it to us.
Yeah.
Are y'all on that? I don't have to keep, I've been forwarding it because when those Tuesday calls started, they were kind of limiting it, sorta, to just mayors because they only had so many phone lines. But are they putting that out? Everybody's getting that? Because I don't have to keep forwarding
Yeah,
it then.
I think
Okay.
yeah.
I get it.
Okay.
9 a.m. is our
Get those
Wednesday
invites
is
for the state
our
call.
regular call with Larry Kaiser. 3 p.m. I think everybody got the information. Michael Kidd will have scheduled a call 3 p.m. Wednesday for a pavilion update. He's done a little more design work there. And then at 2:30 on Thursday at the Winter Trailer, we have the every other week OAC, owner, architect, and contractor meeting. So that's just an update meeting from Winter, and we can ask questions and talk to them about things. So those are the upcoming meetings this week, and that's all I
One
have.
question on 78-124
Yes.
intersection. Have we spoken to anybody about getting the pavement striped?
Yes, yes,
And
and
we-
we followed up
Are we getting
with
anywhere with that?
DOT. And they said that they are trying to put a comprehensive plan together that includes, signage down 124, signage up 124, and then everything that has to happen in the intersection for the left turn eastbound. So, and they said their traffic safety people are close to having all that lined up, and then they'll probably do it internally. So it's GDOT. Us, the CID, the county, everybody. Talked to Tom Seaver the week before last. I said, can you push these people at all? I mean, Tom's the assistant director. He came from traffic safety and operations, and he said he's doing all he knows the situation. So they control that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still see cars turning in the wrong lanes.
Yeah.
Well, the problem you're gonna have is north of 124 to 78 east, because it says no turns, but apparently nobody understands no turns. And I don't know how you strike for that. You can't,
Yeah.
I won't be nervous there.
unless you put something that says go back.
Sure.
But, because I told you, I put the drone up just to film it, and what are the chances? I've got the drone up and the traffic's flowing, and here comes a guy north on 124, right in oncoming traffic on 78.
I rarely
saw
take
one-
that turn, and there's
don't
been
go
4 or
there.
5
I saw
times
one
I've
that
had
turned
somebody
left.
come head on at me.
onto
Yeah.
78
Yeah.
from 124 south.
There is not enough signage.
There's
At-
not enough,
at-
there's
at
not enough
Clower.
signage before Clower.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, there's hardly any coming up before Clower.
Yeah.
And you have to know.
You've got to know before
Yeah.
Clower.
To
I
be
mean,
in the
there's a
right lane.
78
Yeah.
west sign there, but they're past it. before-
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know.
And
It
they-
needs to be
it-
from Ashworth Lake all the way down to Clower.
Yeah.
And it
And
needs to be
sometimes I don't
flashing.
think people
Yeah.
even know what east and west is, to be honest, that doesn't mean.
Well,
It doesn't help me.
Loganville and Stone Mountain, that's all you gotta
Right.
say.
It doesn't help me.
No turn
Or
should be
Atlanta.
pretty easy.
Yeah, but before you
Oh,
get to
yeah.
that
Right.
point, because I've seen people also go through the intersection, they slow down, they put their left turn signal on, and then they get honked at, and they realize
Yep.
they can't do it, and then they go down and they turn around either in the Wendy's or the racetrack, and that is every bit as dangerous.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I know, I just didn't know where it
I
was.
just can't. We've had 2 calls with everybody in Atlanta, and they know exactly what we want.
Can
Well,
we
you're the
just
right,
print up
if
some
they're dealing
dang
with the post
signs?
office, who better to deal with it?
No, it's not. It's not.
Guy
Okay,
that can move a post office ought to be able to.
we've got one more thing on the work session. We have item B, the nuisance abatement at the former Summit Chase Golf Course.
Yeah,
Mr. Warner.
I'm just, I guess because I'm so lucky that I'm running for reelection, I get inundated with people complaining, asking, carrying on about the conditions of the former golf course, both the front 9, which I've heard 5 or 6 different times, oh, they're gonna start construction any day now, and the back 9, and they're just, I understand that our code says a lot until something's built on it can be overgrown, but we also have, these aren't, they were never, it's not like a subdivision that was platted and then not built. It was an ongoing concern, and now it's just gone into disrepair. And I believe our code has been changed to make it where 30 feet from the roadway has to be maintained, or 15, whatever it is. Is there anything we can do as a city? to prompt someone to maintain that property. It looks like a scene from The Walking Dead.
I mean, I don't
Yes,
know.
I mean, my understanding is there are some citations outstanding, so those will presumably be heard on next Thursday. So, to the extent that there's citations for, ordinance violations, I'll make sure they get handled,
Okay,
so.
can you update us on that?
Of course.
And they don't have a choice in terms of saying, pay the citation, go on about their business?
No,
Well,
they
they'll
still have
just
to.
announce
They still have to.
They still have to rectify this.
Okay.
It's one of those things. It's like a speeding ticket. You speed, you get a ticket. If you speed again, you get another ticket. It's the same thing, except it's more. So we will tell them they gotta they'll pay a fine and they have to clean it up. And if they don't, then they get a bigger fine.
Another citation.
Mhm.
Jason said they've issued 4 citations so far.
So
Yeah.
that's assuming that comes down. We have quality of life every other month. We don't do it every month. So if the noticing time got it on, and I don't know the answer. I haven't seen the calendar
Okay.
yet. I'll get the calendar next week. I'll let you know if it's on the calendar. I'll have to look up whatever the company's.
Jason said all 4 are on
For the
court
21st?
date of October 21st.
I'll make sure they get taken care of.
Okay, I'm pretty sure they're all on the front
The
line now.
the only thing I can't do is if they come and pay the tickets. If they're not must appears, if they come and pay the tickets. I mean, there's not a lot I can do until they violate again and get another set of tickets. But if they're there, I'll make sure it gets addressed.
Okay.
If they're not there and they pay their fine, how soon can they write more tickets?
As soon as it's in violation. So if it's in violation that day, they
Go on again.
Johnny
Okay.
Green can go right out there and him and Billy Wayne can write some more tickets.
And what's the action that has to be done? That the whole course has to be mowed? Or just-
Whatever it's going to fall under the international the IPMC, I believe, is probably what it's under, which is the International Property Management Code.
He said
Or
we
is it
feel the
just-
grass and weed ordinance is applicable.
Okay.
They're used in the city.
Okay. So whatever.
So for the entire property?
He didn't specify what. It was in response to your email.
Because, I mean, we've had a situation like this before that I can think of. I'm sure it's happened more often, but the daycare center that's at Summit Chase
Oh, yeah.
on 78, they cleared that entire piece of property because they were supposed to build some office condos or something behind that daycare center. And they cleared the entire piece because they had to put that detention pond in. And they built the daycare center, and then they did nothing else. And so all of the weeds and everything started growing up on that property, and we were hearing from everybody all the time on that. And now it's gotten to a point where it is all grown up. Nothing's ever happened to that property. And it's all grown up, but, it comes a point where are we always gonna make them mow it? I mean, we didn't on that piece of property. So,
Once upon a time, I used to have sunflowers there.
yeah, I know somebody, I
Sunflowers,
did
a lot
saw
of
that
sunflowers.
somebody went out there and planted, it was a
Yeah,
whole bunch of
bunch
sunflowers out there.
So,
I only saw that one time, but I don't even, because we even had trouble with them maintaining the detention pond,
Yeah. Had to stay on top of them.
yeah. So, because the way it was done, there were like multiple owners, multiple parcels that fed into that same one, and only one parcel had been built on and the other two weren't. So they were having difficulty, I think, getting the others to help with the maintenance on that.
Well, once it becomes woods, I think people calm down. But,
Takes a while.
yeah.
Well, that's the thing, it's not gonna ever become woods if it has to be mowed all the time.
Well, then go out and plant trees. Something needs to be done. You can't just let it go to hell.
Yep. So,
But now, and I would give the caveat that they'll have to knock it down, but it's not going to be a golf course. It's not
Oh,
going to
no.
be. It's not
Yeah,
going to
I
be.
know.
It's not going to be manicured.
Well,
so it's just they're going to knock down the
Bush
weeds
hog.
to the
yeah, if it's bush
So-
hogged, it will it will have less rats and stuff like that on
Sure.
it than if it's just
Absolutely.
allowed to go
Right.
feral.
Well, inches opposed to feet will make a difference,
That's what I heard.
because there's 6-foot tall weeds there.
There are, we walked the back nine last night. All right, I have 7:25. Is there anything else for the work session?
Homecoming parade Friday, are we participating?
I think we need to, but that's a due date for me, so I'm not positive I can get there.
We do, you want to,
I can,
I will. Dave
Yeah.
I won't be here.
won't be in town, Gretchen.
I'm not sure.
Birthday, so it might just be 3 of us. Would you be able to get us the fire truck?
I can text
Who's the
Tom.
opponent? Who we playing?
Peachtree Ridge. And then October 29th is Battle of Snellville at Brookwood.
October 29th.
For Mayor's Trophy.
What time are y'all meeting?
We need to, parade is 4:30, so we need, as long as we're there by 4:15, and I'm sure it won't be later than 5:30.
Okay. That might be
And it's the
beautiful.
same route of all of that, so.
We'll understand if it's your birthday and you don't come,
Yeah.
Gretchen.
Yeah,
You've ridden on a fire truck
right.
before.
Okay.
Do you
cool.
still have the headshot?
The
that you-
headshot of Dave, I do not.
Oh, I
I don't
think
know
you
what
have
happened.
Gretchen and she can't make it.
Yeah. Yeah,
What time
we
is the
did-
parade?
4:30,
she said.
and if he could be there by between 4 and 4:15. They want
In
us to
the-
start lining, it's the
the
Baptist,
parking
the
lot
back,
behind
same
St.
place as
Yeah.
last. Same place, Baptist Church? I didn't read all the info,
Yeah,
I
that's
just
the name,
assumed.
church of name.
Church
Oh,
on.
Yeah.
is that where everybody's gonna meet, church on?
That's where they're gonna
Okay,
start
yeah,
lining
okay.
up.
We,
Yeah.
yeah, we met there the last,
Yeah, I just
Couple
don't
of
remember
years.
if it was the school or the church.
and then we go through the same route,
Okay.
Odom to Streetville.
Okey doke. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
There's a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Second, all in favor? Okay, we'll see you in there.